we talk a lot in terms of AI about the next 5 to 10 years and what the impact is going to be on jobs and some of these things. If you look out on a much longer time frame, given the speed and scale of the change, and you look to your grandkids and great-grandkids, can you just give us a sense of what it's going to be like to be human? How much is this going to change the fundamental nature of how we operate as a race at this point?
I think it's going to change a lot. Especially if you go further out into the future. I mean, there will be, everything will be automatic. I mean, there'll be household robots that you can fully talk to as though they're people that can help you around the house or be a companion or whatever the case may be. There will be humanoid robots throughout, factories. Cars will also be all automatic. And anything where intelligence can be applied, even modest intelligence, will be automated. So if you say like 10, 20 years from now.
And will we be connected to that technology through a Neuralink type device?
Maybe.
I mean, is that where this, in your view, obviously, is that where this heads?
Well, a high bandwidth interface from the cortex to the your sort of computing or AI tertiary layer, which already exists. It's just that we don't have a high bandwidth connection. We've got our limbic system, which is our sort of foundational element. That's sort of our instincts and desires and whatnot. Then our cortex on top of that, which is our thinking part of our brain. And then we've got a tertiary digital layer, which is currently in the form of our phones and computers and laptops and whatnot, and all the applications. And the constraint on better, a better merging or the constraint on having human interests and machine interests be aligned is the bandwidth, especially the output. So if you say, like, at what speed can you output to a computer? It's using voice or your fingers, which move very slowly. So you're talking about maybe 10 bits per second or some fairly small data rate. So with the Neuralink, you can increase that by a million, probably.
So everything just speeds up.
Speeds up, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is obviously in a relatively benign scenario, because there's a question of not just, let's say it's a benign scenario. How do we even appreciate or understand what the computer's doing?
Right.
How do we go along for the ride? And if we have a brain-machine interface that's, I don't know, 1 million times faster, then we're more like we'll go along for the ride a lot better.
Right.
Than if we're interfacing with a phone using 2 slow-moving meat sticks.
Yeah, if you put it like that. And in terms of, you have a lot of kids, many in this room have kids. What skills do they need to have? What are the 3 skills that you think are most important for them, that you're trying to give them to be prepared and well positioned for this new world?
Well, I think it's important to have a broad range of understanding in many different subjects. So I think general knowledge is important. So you at least have some clue of what you don't know in different areas. And then go deep in areas where your child has a strong interest and ability. So finding that overlap of where is my child both interested in this and has some ability to be successful, then if you could find that Venn diagram overlap, then obviously encouraging that is a good thing. And we are obviously headed to a high-tech world, so some basic understanding of computers and software and artificial intelligence is probably a good idea.
Okay. But the actual broad thrust of I mean, jobs will change, but it'll be more AI enabling and making it better and easier rather than wholesale, complete change of the skills you need.
I mean, it depends on what time frame we're talking about here. So if you say like over 20, 30-year time frame, I think things will be transformed beyond belief. You probably think you probably won't recognize society in 30 years. Like I do think we're fairly close. You asked me about artificial general intelligence. I think we're perhaps only 3 years, maybe 6 years away from it. This decade. So, in fact, arguably, we are on the event horizon of the black hole that is artificial superintelligence.
Okay.
Sweet dreams.